Hey tubers, as requested, I'm going to do a teenage birth story. Alright, here it goes. I didn't write anything down, so I hope I don't ramble on too long. One of my pet peeves is long videos. I love you ladies, but if your video is over 10 minutes long, good luck getting me to watch it. Anyway, kind of rude, sorry. Here goes. So I had my daughter, well actually I got pregnant when I was 17. I found out on April Fool's Day, which is why if you watch a prior video, I'm going to take a test this April Fool's Day, hoping it's the same. And I had her in December. I was with her dad for about a year before we had her. Now, I was lucky in the fact that I had a good baby daddy who later became a husband, who is now an ex-husband. But I had a good, I mean, he was there for me. He did nights with me. He changed diapers. His parents helped, you know. I was really lucky to have him stay in her life, because at the time, me and my friends were, basically all of us were having babies. And their baby daddy, I hate that term, but that's what he was back then. They were all gone. So I was lucky enough to have the guy who stayed around. And then we got married when she was like 1 or 2. But anyway, yeah, so I was 17, found out I was pregnant. Like a lot of teenagers, I was a little too excited there. Got ahead of myself. At about 7-8 weeks, as memory serves it along, I had horrible morning sickness, 24-hour-a-day morning sickness, and the medical term for that is hyperemesis or hyperemesis. Depends on how you want to pronounce it. That basically means you throw up day and night. There is no such thing as morning sickness. It is all the time. So I was in and out of the hospital several times, had to be on IVs. I got to the point where I couldn't even swallow. You know how you swallow when you're talking? If I swallowed, it would come up. So I don't want to get too TMI, but it was really, really, really bad. I just kept thinking I was allergic to pregnancy or something. Back then in '95, that was the good old year. There was no such thing as Zofran, so I had to be on, excuse me, I'm going to take a drink. I had to be on a drug called phenergan, which was a suppository because I could not take anything by mouth. I could not hold anything down. So I had to be on that the entire 9 months, and the side effect of phenergan is sleepiness. So by the grace of God, I didn't have to work back then. My daughter's father worked, so I was able to sleep all day. I mean, nowadays they have Zofran and the Zofran pump if your morning sickness is really bad, where they put a needle in your thigh and all that good stuff. So there's better drugs. But back then, like I said, I'm skipping ahead of myself. I was on a drug called phenergan. The entire 40 weeks, the entire 10 months, from beginning to end, I had to use suppositories every day to hold food down, which I'm praying to the baby gods I don't get morning sickness that bad this time. But there are better drugs if I do. So that was a terrible experience. When it came down for her to be actually born, I went past due, according to the doctor at the time. I think my due dates were messed up. I think I should have had her in January. I think she was born too soon. But anyway, they induced me December 28th. And of course I didn't argue, because I was excited to get this baby out of me. I was 17. I wanted my little skinny body back. Excuse me, 18 by then. And I wanted my skinny body back. New Year's was coming. So the doctor induced me the morning of December 28th. They started with Cervidil, which is like a blue gel to ripen up your cervix, because I don't think I was even a fingertip by then. So we started with that, and then I went, I want to say 8-9 hours on Cervidil, which didn't do much. And then they put in the pit drip, the Pitocin. That baby kicked in, and those contractions were a mother effer. I mean, I went from nothing to extreme pain. And if any of you had a pit drip before, you understand what I'm saying. It was ridiculous. I remember the pain to this day. A lot of women say they forget the pain, but honey, that pain was just ridiculous. I think I could have handled it if it was gradual, but it went from nothing to everything. So I'm freaking out, you know, screaming. My mom screaming for a C-section. Of course, excuse me. My mom starts freaking out. My mom freaked out so bad that they kicked her out of the hospital. So she wasn't there actually for my daughter's birth. She was in the parking lot because she freaked out so bad because I was screaming. So, no one checked me. I'm screaming, screaming, screaming. They put in the pit drip, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 o'clock at night. I'm screaming about an hour after that. No one checks me. I don't know how this happened. Well, I think I do know now that I'm a nurse, but morning time came, about 8 o'clock. I'm really, my sister's trying to tell me the whole time, stop screaming, you're annoying the nurses, just stop screaming. So I did the best I could to be quiet. I think I ran out of steam at like 8 o'clock. And the nurse comes in, checks me, and says, no wonder why you're screaming. The baby's head is right there. So I don't know how long my daughter's head was there, because I never had the urge to push. People say they have a sensation like they have to poop or whatever, but I never got that. So I'm not sure how long her head was there. I was kind of, how do I put this? I was kind of forced into natural childbirth. If I had it my way, I would have had drugs. Back then, they weren't handing out epidurals like they are now, but I was too late for an epidural anyway. By the time she checked me, my daughter was there. So I did have natural childbirth, but not by choice. Yeah. So this time around, I'm going to try for natural childbirth, but no promises. Honestly, I'm nobody's hero. I'm going to do the best I can, but I'm not one of these women that are going to come in with a strict birth plan, and I'm sticking by this, and I'm definitely doing it this way. Just from having patients, labor and delivery, it almost never goes the way you want. So I'm not going to go in there with an attitude like that. I'm going to try my best to hold off on the epidural, but we'll see what happens this time. But anyway, back then, yes, the nurse checked me. A couple of pushes later, she was born, 6 pounds, 9 ounces. Her name is Lyric, L-Y-R-I-C, December 29th. So I was in labor for about 24 hours, a little under 24 hours, I think, by a few minutes. So yeah, that was that. I had her, and she was healthy, thank God. I think she was born a little bit early. She was really, really jaundiced, and she had trouble keeping down food. I tried to breastfeed as much as I could, but I was 17, the education wasn't there. I didn't think to ask for a lactation consultant. My mom had never breastfed any of her babies, so it was foreign to her. She was just like, give your baby formula. That's what I did. So that's what I did for my daughter. So I hope I didn't ramble on too much. She's now 16 and healthy. Thank God she made it through. And there's a lot of things I would change about her birth, of course. I found out now, going through nursing school and being on the labor and delivery floor, I believe in my heart that the nurses turned off my call button and they were just annoyed by me. That's just how I feel. Seeing how sometimes it happens even now to this day. A lot of nurses, and I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for this, but this is my experience in nursing in labor and delivery. Some nurses, not all, feel the need to punish these teenage girls for getting pregnant. And I feel like that's what happened in my case. I just feel like they ignored me, and they're, trying to teach me a lesson. I've heard several nurses say this since then. It's pretty sad, and I hope it doesn't happen too often anymore, but I really think that's what happened to me. I really think things would have gone a lot smoother had the nurses come in when I was screaming. I think they were just like, she's just screaming. I don't think they took me serious at all, unfortunately. But yeah, that's the story. I survived. And that was 16 years ago. So hopefully things will go much different this time. Well, I know they will, because I promise you I'm not going to let nobody induce me. As far as the pain and, epidural or not epidural, it's up. I don't know. We'll see what happens when the time comes. But I know I'm not going to allow myself to be induced again. Anyways, I'm about to hit 10 minutes, damn it. And I just said I hate doing that. Okay, so I'm going to cut this off now. That's it. If you have any questions, you can send me, make a comment or send me an email, and I'll upload this tonight. Thanks. Bye.